attach all documents and make 7 sets of it. You have to submit 7 sets of the application and a processing fees of rupees 2,500. In the form of a demand draft that is given in the application itself, in whose fair demand draft will be Pay and Accounts Officer, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. No, not telecom. Right, so you are looking something else. First, that part will come later. So once we receive the application, we examine it. If there is any discrepancy, we communicate the applicant. If it is complete, then it is referred to concerned ministries. Several ministries examine the application of community radio. Main ministries are Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Communication and IT. There is a wing called Wireless Planning and Coordination Wing. In short, it is called WPC wing. These are the 3 main ministries which examine every application. And if the application is from an educational institution, it goes to Ministry of Human Resource also, MHRD. And if it's a KVK or State Agriculture University, then application is sent to Ministry of Agriculture also. So these are 5 ministries which examine the applications. So once we receive their clearances, and in the meantime, we invite the applicant to appear before screening committee. Screening committee is headed by Joint Secretary, and it consists experts of community radio field and members from concerned ministries also. So they interact with the applicant. They check what is their preparedness, whether they just want to own a radio station, just want to acquire a frequency, or what is their motive behind. Who are the promoters? What is their community service? Whether they will be able to set up. What is their financial condition? Main objective is what is your community service, and whether you are able to mobilize the resources or not. That's why Madam said that even if you are a millionaire, you may not get the permission. But if you are a poor institution and you have the capability to mobilize the resources, you will get the license. Okay. So once applicant is recommended by screening committee and all clearances are received, Ministry of I&B issues a permission which is called letter of intent. Letter of intent, which means that you are fit to run a community radio station. That is first step of the license. After getting letter of intent, you will have to apply WPC wing, the Wireless Planning and Coordination Wing, for actual frequency allocation. They will tell you which will be your frequency. There are 3 spots reserved for community radio: 90.4 megahertz, 90.8 and 91.2. But they will tell you which will be your frequency. It is called frequency allocation. Okay. For that there is an online application. 90.4, 90.8 and 91.2. It's given only rare cases. Okay, but there are 3 spots which are coordinated. Okay. They will tell you. You will have to make an application for this. That we have, Ministry of I&B has permitted us. Now you please allot a frequency for us. That sample application is there. You can check page 50, I think. Yeah. Not 50, this 37. Page 37. This application is made online. Okay. 37, page 37. It's print out of online application. So don't confuse, it has technical terms, but we will explain it later on. Okay. So you will have to apply for this. Then WPC wing will tell you this will be your frequency. After getting frequency allocation, there is again one more clearance called SACPA clearance. SACPA is regarding your site clearance. You will have to set up a mast of 30 meters to fix antenna on it. So they will examine whether this place is suitable to create this structure or not. That is called SACPA. SACPA is Standing Advisory Committee on Frequency Allocation.
What is the advisable size of the room?
That we will tell you later on. There are no specifications for that. Not for room. They examine the site whether this site, for example, I want to set up radio station here. So they will examine that this site is suitable or not, whether it's coming, whether it will interfere other operators or not. They will examine this. SACPA is for this. So after getting frequency allocation and SACPA clearance, Ministry of INB will sign an agreement with you, which is called Grant of Permission Agreement. That will be the fourth stage of the license. First is letter of intent, second frequency allocation, third SACPA, fourth Grant of Permission Agreement. For that, you will have to submit copies of frequency allocation and SACPA and a bank guarantee of rupees 25,000. That bank guarantee is taken just as a guarantee that you will comply all the conditions of the agreement. That agreement is detailed agreement. It's there in the guidelines. You can read in the evening. If any question, we can reply tomorrow. 25,000 bank guarantee. Okay. After getting, after signing GOFA, you will have to again apply to WPCB for final wireless operating license. For that, you will tell them that this will be our transmitter. We will use one transmitter or we will use two transmitters. After getting WS, you can start broadcasting from your radio station.
Okay, coincidentally, when I started working on this presentation, even I had the same questions that Madam Supriya ji has asked us. So the first question, obviously the same thing that she's asked, why have you applied for a CR license? When we applied for a CR license, we didn't have any vision, being an education institution, just like exactly what Supriya ma'am said, that somebody decided that they want to apply for a station, and that's how it happened. Did we have a vision for the station, or do we have the participants here who seek to apply for a station, do we have a vision? Our vision for the station came off very randomly, which said that we would want to have diverse voices at the station. And the name of the station, which is very, very important. Do you want to link the station to your own parent organization, or do you want to have a separate identity? That is the crucial thing. Because if you want to create a community-based organization, it is very, very important to have an identity distinct of the parent organization. For us right now, after 5 years in operation, no longer people say, Jain University is radioactive, but we have our own identity and people know that radioactive is distinct from the university. And obviously, like he just mentioned, identification of stakeholders, which is very important. So the first rationale is to anybody who decides to start a community radio station is to remember that a community is not homogeneous. You have different kinds of people in the community. So based on that, how we define our station is that it is an urban community radio station catering to heterogeneous and diverse groups of people, wherein people from different communities, it could be geographical or interest-based, are encouraged to use the station for their development or whatever activities. The kind of working groups that we have in our station, we have LGBT community, waste pickers and scrap dealers, people with disabilities, people with HIV/AIDS, auto drivers. We have more than about 45 NGOs, slum dwellers, artists and sex workers. So these are the different groups that make up our station.
What is LGBT?
LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. So they actually, sex workers and LGBT come under the sexual minority category. And I'm very happy to introduce my colleague, Nagraj, who's instantly our program committee member for the LGBT community. He represents an organization called Sangama. And Nagraj also has had experience with Number 20 radio station, which was which is operating in Butikote. So he has about 8 to 10 years experience in community radio. And now we're privileged to have him with us as part of our program committee member. So the main aim of the station is basically to get people to talk about their issues, to drive social change, to educate communities like what Supriya mentioned, to share knowledge, skills, to help preserve and protect the Indian culture, to also act as a catalyst for meaningful social transformation, and to sensitize and spread awareness on various issues. These are some of our community RJs. So we have Priyanka, who's from the LGBT community. We have Jaydev, who's visually impaired. We have Auto Shiv Kumar, who's an auto driver. We have Vimla, who's from the Srirampura Dayanand Nagar area resident. We have Shrikant, who's also visually impaired, but he does all art programs. In his program, incidentally won us the third place at the National CR Sammelan Award last year. We have Manchila, who's again from a Dastrali slum. Then we have Lavanya, who is she's partially sighted, and we have Sujata, who's a waste picker. There are many more who haven't put in photographs. And then obviously we have Padmapriya, who was a student at the university and now is working full time with us. And Vijaya worked with Nagaraj at Namadwani, and then she moved here. So she facilitates and trains a lot of people.
You have trained all of them?
Yes, now they run the station. They manage the station.
But you provided training to them?
Yeah. Our approach, our broadcast time, I'll just go to that. We operate 24 hours Sunday and Monday, and Tuesday to Saturday we do 23 hours of programming. So some strategies of how you can look at community engagement is first step, capacity building in radio production. So we do, as soon as we identify a community or an NGO, the first step is to do workshops in radio production. So what is community radio, a mini demo of what is happening here with each community. Following which, then training is provided, they do programs, and then they become RJs. So the RJs eventually convert into paid staff at the university. So these are few strategies for anybody who's willing to, who wants to start a community radio. It's very important to have diverse voices, because if you don't have that many communities, then content generation becomes a problem. Because then you're constantly thinking, how do I create the next content? How do I do this? So right now we have about 8 to 10 hours of original programs, then repeat and folk songs.